Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Okay, you may can tell where we are by just looking at the boats. We're down in Apalachicola. I'm down at FWC office, and we're going to do some scallop stories. I always love this area here. This is Scipio Creek, and just look at where the lower end of Apalachicola. This building's been several things over the years. Okay, I'm in the office with all the cool people. Okay, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Matt. I work with the Scallop program. Yep.
All right, that's a great one.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm also with the Scallop group.
Okay.
And Kelly, another Scallop. Yep, happy to be with you guys today.
Okay, we're going to have fun today. What's our agenda for today?
So we're going to head over to the FSU Marine Lab in Panacea to look at some of our baby scallops that we use for our scallop sitter program. So we'll show you guys that and talk about our scallop sitter program and how we're going to help restore bay scallop populations.
Well, we're excited about it. All right, so we're loading up in the FWC truck. I don't know where y'all let me sit.
Yeah, front seat.
I get front seat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Liz, tell us where we are. I've never been here.
Yeah, we're at the FSU Marine Lab. We have some scallops here, so we'll have to show you some of those. But yeah.
We're in Panacea. Now, what bay system is this?
So you've got St. George Sound. Yeah. I guess St. George, yeah.
So it's are we close to Oglala Bay, or
So it would be just
that way?
over that way, yeah.
Okay.
And then you can see Dog Island out there.
Dog Island, okay.
And yeah.
This is a pretty big complex. I had no idea it was this big.
Yeah, there's all the research labs. You got there's some neat things happening here.
Well, cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, now, what are y'all doing?
So we've got all of our little babies in here.
Little babies?
They're the babies.
Oh my goodness. You have little baby scallops.
Sure do.
Oh my goodness. Look at them. Where did they come from?
So these all were wild spat that were collected on our sampling bags, which I guess we don't have one right now, but they're from St. Joe Bay.
Yeah, okay.
So St. Joe Bay scallops, and raising them here, and then once they're big enough, they're going to go back in cages in St. Joe Bay to help repopulate the bay. So.
Well, tell us about the little setup here, all the little tubes and everything. What's going on with that?
Sure. This is our downweller system that we set up. So basically, we have water coming in through these hoses right here, and then we go through the buckets which hold the scallops. The bottom of the buckets, they have screens. So the water.
Okay. The screen at the bottom. Okay.
So the water kind of flows through, and then it comes through the system, and the exit pipe's right here.
Okay.
And yeah, once a week we come out, make sure that they're all healthy and good to go. And we sort them and make sure they're not too clumped. As you can see, there's some in here that they start to clump to each other. We don't like that. We like when they're on the side wall, but...
Oh, so you don't want them to clump together?
No, we want to spread them out as much as possible. So spreading them out as much as possible helps them grow as big as they can in the week, that we check.
So y'all really are like a babysitter for the scallops. I mean, you get these babies going.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And then we have about 4,000 in here right now.
4,000?
4,000 juvenile scallops, and hopefully they all make it to about 25 millimeters, and at that point we'll move them from these tanks into the bay, St. Joe Bay, and put them in our cages and deliver them to the scallop sitters.
Okay.
And so
those are your cages.
yeah,
okay.
so these are what the scallop sitters will get. So once they're big enough, so they don't fall through these gaps here, we'll put about 25 scallops in each cage, and we'll close them up real good and put them out in the bay. So right now you can see they're super tiny, so they'll fall right through there. But give them a couple months and they'll be adult sized. So
what a fun job.
yeah.
I'm serious.
Pretty cool, yeah.
That is cool. And how many of these do we think we're going to have?
So, how many cages?
Yeah.
So we're hoping to get about 250. Last year we had about 220 cages out in the bay between St. Andrews and St. Joe. So we're hoping, 250 this year.
And who can qualify to, quote, be a scholarship?
So if you live in St. Joe Bay or St. Andrews Bay and have access to the bay, either have a house with a dock on the bay, have a boat, you can get out on the water, or even if you just have the ability to wade out into the bay, you can keep a cage in there. Once a month you have to check
Once
them.
a month?
Just once a month, yeah.
Cool.
You got to check the scallops. You're going to see if they're alive, how many are alive, how many are dead, clean them off, clean the cage, check salinity, and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm Brandy Bowman. I'm a research technician for Sandra Brook, and she's kind of in charge of.
So you're here during the week?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to do a lot of work, don't you?
Yeah, I do all the maintenance.
They just come down once in a while.
Check that she's good.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the setup.
Making sure I'm doing everything right.
Good deal. And what's your background?
I have a background in biology, so I've done a lot of field work and stuff. So here is kind of like my first opportunity to work with marine organisms.
Cool.
Very exciting.
And you went Massachusetts, and where are you from originally?
Washington State.
Washington State, Jersey,
Jersey, yep.
and
Florida.
Florida. Okay. Oh, cool. Good stuff. All right, y'all keep doing your job. I'm just here watching. Y'all don't let me interrupt you.
Are these are from St. Joe?
Where did that one come from?
Yeah, so yeah, we had a couple adults in here. These are from St. Joe, St. Joe Bay. I think we
Yeah.
had them. Did we have these guys out in our cages? Or
Yes.
yeah,
They were wild collected
wild collected
during the
scallops
summer survey. And
during
then
summer
in the
survey.
cages. And those are the only ones that survived Hurricane Michael.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we had these. We collected these during our survey.
They survived the
And
hurricane.
yeah, we had them in cages out in the bay there, and then yeah, these are the ones that survived. So we brought them here in hopes that they'll spawn. And
I get excited just looking at.
Yeah.
Look, that's a grown
yeah,
scallop.
yeah, they're
Look at
pretty big, and you can see too some of this growth here. That's from being out in the cage. So that's part of the scallop sitter's job is that if stuff starts growing on it, they'll clean it off, and it just keeps the scallop a little bit more healthy. They can open more, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a couple of these guys in here. Oh, this one here. Oh, this is an orange one
Look at
too.
that. We'll have to shut these out and cook them.
Yeah.
You don't say that around time.
This guy don't even look like one.
That's cool.
But yeah, so yeah, they're still kicking. That's good.
Okay, starting with these are little.
Yes, so these are the smallest that we have, and we're gonna start our sorting with the little guys. And so originally when we had the 6,000, when they first came off the traps, they were this size or considerably smaller. And in the last 2 months, they've grown substantially. So this is the last of the small ones.
Okay.
So we're gonna run them through a 4mm mesh. Right?
4 million.
And hopefully we'll find that most of them will not fall through, and then in that case they will be jumped up to the next size class.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Can add them to get like a free volume.
Okay, let's say that again. Last year you just had how many last
Yeah,
year?
so last year, we got like 80,000 scallops.
80,000.
Yeah, and so like it was just impossible to hand count each one.
So now you do a volume.
So we do a volumetric count, but we do individually count these. So
Okay.
It'll help us get our metrics down for next year too. So
Yeah.
if we have 80,000 again,
Yeah.
we'll already know approximately at what volume each size class, or how many of each size class there are per volume.
Those are little.
yeah.
So you're actually counting them?
Yeah, we're gonna individually count every single scallop, just to get a more accurate count, and then we can compare that to the volumes too to get an idea of how many scallops per volume.
Okay. Good deal.
Fortunately, we only have a few small ones, a couple hundred maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Out of 4,000, it's not too bad.
So what are you writing down over there, Liz?
So I'm just writing down how many milliliters the smallest size class of scallops is.
Okay.
So it's about 1.2 milliliters, and that was 22 total scallops that are less than 4 millimeters. So.
Okay, so my question is, are you seeing an improvement at this stage? So
Yeah, so originally we had about 2,500 scallops that were under 4 millimeters. So that's small. It's under a centimeter, and now we are left. Most of them have grown out of that size class, and we only have 22 left in the under 4 millimeter category. So
they're growing.
Yeah, they are. Like generally in the wild, they'll grow a couple millimeters per week. So we're seeing very similar growth patterns here. So
Good. So that's what I want to know. You know, that's how they grow that much in a.
yeah, they grow very quickly because they only have a lifespan of 1 year. So they start out as 2 millimeter scallops, and within a year they'll be up to 70 millimeters.
So this is our sieve, and these are all the ones that are larger than 7 millimeters.
Okay.
Yep.
And the rest fell through.
The rest fell through.
Cool. Okay, look, they're swimming. Can y'all see that? That is cool. Do that again.
They're just swimming, yeah.
They're
yeah,
swimming.
they like when they're in the wild, they swim around.
Yeah.
They can move around and kind of escape predators that way and move to a little bit better location if they have to.
And these are little, and they still can swim. They didn't have any swimming.
Yeah, it's so funny seeing the little babies swim around.
And they didn't have swimming lessons, even little.
I know. They're naturals.
Look at 'em. That's cool. One of the things you want to do if it's scallops here, you want to clean them off. So tell us how we're going to do this.
Yeah, so when they're in the cage, they don't have as much freedom to move around. So things like barnacles and oysters will grow on their shell. So part of the job as a scallop sitter is to actually clean the scallops off once a month. So things like this, you'll kind of just chip off.
So that's actually, you have a scallop knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, exactly. So when you clean the shells off like that, you don't want growth around the hinge because then they can't open as much and they can't feed properly. So keeping them clean allows them to survive a little bit better and eat better. So this is kind of the main job.
There's just little barnacles on there, right?
Yeah, these are I think are like little oyster spat.
Wow.
So yeah, so you don't want to be too rough, but yeah, so.
Oh, cool.
It's easy enough.
Now you're doing it on just that one side?
Yeah, this side actually is, well, this side has a little bit of growth too, but you could do, you'll do both sides, keep them clean. This one has a little bit more growth on it than you'll probably see. But yeah, so that's generally, so you clean all the scallops off and
Okay.
just don't want to get the...
That didn't take you very long.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, so we're going in one of the buildings. We're going in here to this area here, and so tell us what we got in here.
All right, so here we have two different temperature control rooms. This one's set at 20 degrees Celsius.
20 degrees Celsius.
Yep, and we have two tubs here. One is set at 20 parts per thousand salinity, and the other one's set at 25. So we have about 100 scallops in each of these buckets. Nice scientific buckets. And the bottom's cut out, so we have a little bit of mesh. And a pump here that circulates the water.
Okay. And what are we testing here? What are we trying to find out?
So we're trying to find out what the effects of temperature and salinity are on scallop survivability.
Okay.
Right now, we're not getting a whole lot of mortality from these experiments yet, so we're going to adjust the temperature and salinity to a little bit more extreme conditions.
So we have no findings yet. I mean, what do you think? What's your thinking? Just premature? Can you do a premature guess? What's going on?
Not really. I think when we...
The scientists don't do that, do they?
No. When we adjust it to more extreme conditions, we should start seeing some
Cool.
changes in our
camera and tell me, I'm in this hallway, I get fascinated with posters. I know it's crazy, but these are your graduate students and their studies?
Yeah, so these are all their posters of at least preliminary work. Actually,
Florida Grant. Here's the one that I just stopped, took a double take because a lot of you viewers, the Sheepshead Research and young man Austin Hill did that. So I would look, man, but he's in Georgia now, right, doing his PhD?
Yep, he's at UGA now.
Yeah. And here's one, Bob Edis on the predators. See, that'd be good. Deep water sharks. So when they, yeah. Ooh, and that'll be interesting. Really cool stuff. Okay, we're walking down to the dock. The first thing I noticed, some fishermen right there. But we're going down. Now, tell us what we're going to have down here, Cameron.
So we've got one of our restoration cages. It's a pretty small little thing. It's what the scallop sitters would be using.
Okay, all right. We're going
so we've got just a handful of scallops that we pulled out of the bay here that we've been keeping off the dock here at the FSU Marine Lab. So we're just going to check on them, see how they're doing, and clean them up and do a quick count.
All right. All right, so what do we have down here?
All right, so we got a cage of some of our scallops here. So this is kind of similar to what you'd do if you had a dock cage as a scallop sitter.
Okay.
You tie it off somewhere over, somewhere on your dock here where you can just access it pretty easily. So you'll pull it up. As you can see, this one's pretty dirty. They'll get dirty. Things will start to grow on it.
Okay.
But yes, I'm just gonna break this guy open.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got a handful of scallops in here.
Yeah.
They're all alive. That's a good sign. So yeah, so these you got it'll clean off. We got some like
you
tuna
clean them
kits
off and put them back.
Yep. But yeah, like the purpose of this cage, it seems kind of weird we're keeping scallops in a cage, but the cage acts as a predator. It's predator exclusion, so it keeps them safe from predators. Allows them to have a little bit more survivability, and when they're close together in a cage like that, they'll actually have more success when reproducing because they broadcast spawn, so they'll release sperm and eggs into the water column, and when they're close together like that, it's just a little bit more successful. So, having these cages around St. Joe and St. Andrews hopefully help to increase offspring in the bays and increase their populations.
Cool.
That one is so thorough. So the program will run from July this year to January. So in July we'll hold workshops where we'll actually teach you guys a little bit about bay scallop biology, the fishery, and then show you kind of how to care for the scallops over the course of a couple months. And then you guys will get supplies and that kind of thing.
And the location-wise, St. Joe Bay has good salinity, so...
Yeah, pretty much the entire bay. If it's too shallow, sometimes it gets too hot for the scallops. But generally, the whole bay is pretty decent place for scallops. St. Andrews Bay, the more northern parts of the bay are a little too fresh for scallops to survive. So we definitely want to keep them in ideal conditions, but we will give you guys hydrometers, which measures the salinity. So as long as you keep them, 20, 25, even 30 parts per thousand, it'll be a decent condition for the scallops to survive.
And how deep of water you want them in?
As long as the cage is covered by water, even at low tide, that's good. But a little bit deeper, so 6 feet would be probably good, and not directly on a seagrass bed. Somewhere near seagrass, like a sandy patch, is probably an ideal location for that.
Okay, so not on the seagrass.
Not directly on the seagrass.
That's interesting. Okay. All right, good deal. And what now? You don't have to live on the water. I mean, you have access to go in a kayak.
If you have a kayak, you can just
or
pretty much pick a spot for your cage or a boat.
Most people go out at least once a month in a boat, so just while you're out there, you can check it.
Yeah, exactly. Or even if you don't have a boat or kayak, and you find a spot that's easy to access from shore, just walk out and you can get to the cage that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's probably only maybe a half hour per month of maintenance. I mean, it's a quick event, and then if you have kids or grandkids, I mean, they love it. I mean, it's so much fun to get out there with them and kind of introduce them to them. And I mean, the scallops are such cool animals to begin with. They almost have little personalities. You know, you just have fun with it.
Each one of them.
It's a great way to introduce people to their, to their waters, so they kind of take some stake, and this is.
That's great. Yeah. That's outstanding. I'm excited about it. I'm a scallop lover, and I'm so excited y'all are doing it. And thank y'all for bringing me down here today, and thank you all for the job you do. I didn't know y'all got paid to do this. It's just like fun. But thank you. I know y'all are conscientious and dedicated to it, and I just appreciate spending the day with y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Thanks.
Seeking knowledge from the sea through art and science. Okay, we're wrapping it up. We're back in Apalachicola, and I have had fun.
Yeah.
It's been a good day.
It's been awesome, and I just admire what y'all do. And I was going to tell the boss to give him the rest of the day off, but the boss is not here. So y'all got to go back to work.
We do.
So give me some of y'all's input on today. What do y'all think?
It's a good day, yeah. Got what we needed to do, and
scallops are all still doing really well over at FSU, so it's looking good. Low mortality rates and all that. So,
it's a fascinating still how fast they grow.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it really
within
is.
a couple months they're going to be out back in the bay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking maybe 2 months from now, and they'll be back out there.
And we're going to get ready to start our next time together. We're going to maybe do the count.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll do our survey on the adults.
That's St. Joe Bay.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, get you in the water.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.